Guys, welcome to part 2 in our scanner self-portrait tutorial. In this segment, we're going to learn a few more tools, and we're also going to be, for our final touch, we're going to be adding a tattoo overlay to make our image look a little bit more edgy, a little bit more dreamlike. So I'm going to go ahead and close this final version out. I just wanted to preview it for you. So if you finish part 1, you should be at this point. You should have enhanced your scan using various adjustments, filters, and tools in Photoshop. You can, if you have your layers intact, which you should, you can go back and make other adjustments if you want. It's up to you. But for our final stage, we're going to flatten it. So what I'm going to do is go up to Layer and scroll down and select Flatten Image. All right, I still want to keep a working copy of the layers I had previously, so I'm going to save this version. So I'm going to go up to File, Save As, and rename this one like Scanner Self-Portrait Flattened, so that I still have that working copy version as well. And then you just hit Save. So remember to do that. We're saving various stages of our work. You want to save your original scan, you want to save a working copy with your layers, and now we're saving a flattened version. So once you flatten it, couple things I'm going to do. I am going to go ahead and make a background layer. So always get in the habit of doing that. Go to Layer, Duplicate Layer, hit OK. That's something you should always do whenever you're working with any type of image. Then I'm going to do a few more enhancements. I am going to brighten this image just a little bit more overall. So I'm going to go up to Image, Adjustments, Brightness, and Contrast. And I'm just going to bump up the brightness just a little bit like that and hit OK. Another tool I thought you guys might enjoy using is the sponge tool. So if you go over here into your toolbox, it's probably hidden under your dodge tool or your burn tool. When you select the sponge tool, it's really cool because you can desaturate or saturate your image in various parts. So when it's highlighted up here in the tool option bar, you can go over here and select desaturate or saturate. I'm going to do saturate. And then you can control how much it does it. So I have it set at 72%. And then you can also change the brush size as well, depending on what it is you're trying to saturate. So you could even go back and I'll show you, you can saturate your eye color, your lip color. I'm going to go and add some highlights into my hair and maybe brighten some of the background a little bit. So, and basically it just does what it does. It's like a paintbrush and you can kind of saturate. So here you can see it better in the hair. So I'm just going to kind of add a few more highlights. I'm going to kind of bump this up a little bit to brighten the blanket. And then you can, and again, you can adjust your brush depending on what it is you're trying to saturate or desaturate. Brighten my jacket a little bit. Now you can also desaturate, which is fun too. So it's a way to sort of remove or make parts of your image black and white. So to do that, you just simply go up into the tool option bar and click on desaturate. Again, you can control the flow. I mean, you could have it at 100% to completely turn whatever it is you're desaturating to black and white. And then you just go over the image. So like with the shell, I kind of have made it black and white. So that's a fun thing to kind of enhance your image. Okay, so our next step is that we are going to select the face or the part that we want to create our tattoo overlay. So to do that, we are going to select the quick selection tool. So in your toolbox, if you go over here, it might be hidden under the magic wand tool. Click on the quick selection tool. It looks like a brush with an arrow. And then just kind of just drag it across the area that you want to select. When it's highlighted up here in the tool option bar, you can do the plus and minus to refine your selection. So I want to kind of reel it in a little bit more towards the face. So I'm going to use the minus. If you want to add to your selection, you would use the plus icon. There, that looks pretty good. Now what I want to do is I want to save my selection into its own layer. To do that, I'm going to go up to Layer. You might have to scroll up, and I'm going to select New. I'm going to come over here and select Via Copy, Layer Via Copy. So now if you look over here in my palette, you'll see that I have my background layer, my background copy, and now I just have a layer with just that selection. You can refine that selection even more by using the eraser tool, which is nice. It's kind of a nice way to do selections that are a little bit more complex. I'm going to kind of do that a little bit. You know, you can really get into this. You could zoom in and you know, really do it. I'm not going to do that because I'm in a time crunch right now. So once you have your selection the way you want, here I'm going to refine this a little bit more. Just click on the Move tool and then go to View and sort of zoom out so you can see it. And then let's go ahead and bring back our other layers. So now you need a pattern to use. So we're going to minimize Photoshop and select a black and white pattern. So to do that, you can just go to the internet, type in Google black and white pattern. Okay, and it should bring up a variety of ones. I usually click images so I can see them. Now, some of these won't let you use them. So if it won't let you save, or you do save it and it won't let you open up in Photoshop, it probably means it has a copyright. So just try to find one that you can't save. So when you find one that you like, just click on it and then right click on the image and then save image as. And I'm just going to save it into my desktop so I can find it pretty easy to open in Photoshop. All right. So once you do that, you can you can minimize or close the pattern, and you might want to try a variety of different patterns. I have a bunch saved. You can see them right here. So you pick one that you want to open. So right click on it, open with, select Photoshop. And there we have it. I want to see both my portrait and my pattern that I'm going to use at the same time. So I'm going to go up to Window, Arrange, and I'm going to select Tile vertically. So now I can see both. And what I'm simply going to do is just move this layer over. I'm going to grab my Move tool and just drag this pattern over into my portrait. I don't need the pattern anymore over here, so I'm going to click out of it. I'm just going to close it. So you can see now I have a separate layer for my pattern. So it's a good idea to go and rename these layers so that they don't get confusing. So I'm going to double click on here, name this one Pattern. I'm going to click on this one where I just have my face selected and name that face, and then I'll just leave the other two the same. So what I want to do is have this pattern cover my face, and then you might need to enlarge it a little bit. So to do that, go to Edit, Transform, Scale, and you can enlarge it however much you need. Remember to do it from the corners so you don't distort the image too much. And then hit Enter to confirm the change. Now, to see through, to make it an overlay, when you're in the pattern, go over here to Normal, click on the arrow next to it, and select Overlay. All right, so we can kind of see through it. And then you can, with this overlay, you can move it so you can kind of position the pattern. You can go back and transform it more, Like I'm going to actually warp it a little bit so it looks like it's curving around my face. So I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, and I'm going to select Warp and just kind of play around with it, just so it looks a little bit, so it doesn't look so flat, like it actually looks like it's kind of maybe wrapping around my face a little bit. You should be able to move it too. All right, and once you get it the way you want, hit enter to confirm the change. Now what I want to do is just kind of get rid of the excess stuff. I want just this pattern to fit in the face selection. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close these eyes and my pattern. So I'm just going to have my face open like this. I'm going to go over here to my toolbox, and I'm going to select the magic wand tool. And then all you do, and you have to be in the face layer, so make sure that's highlighted. So you're in the face layer, and all you do is just click in the empty part. So what you'll see is it's selected everything but my face. So all of this is selected. So I should have a little border going around my selection as well as around the frame. Then you can bring back the other layers. Make sure you go to pattern now, make sure that's highlighted, and then hit the delete key. And so it should delete everything except for the area in the face. So now it kind of fits into the face. Go up to select, deselect, and then again, I want to see everything. I'm going to hit on screen so I can see the entire image. One last thing you might want to do is that, well, you do need to do this. Your overlay still is pretty opaque. So we're going to go over here to opacity. Remember to be in the pattern layer. We're going to click on it and then just really bump the opacity down. So it looks like it's really coming from within the skin like that. So, I mean, I really bumped it down a lot to like 17%. So it looks like it's coming or kind of glowing from within the skin instead of just, you know, sitting on top like that. So, and that's the end. So I know you might not like the tattoo, but I want you to try it. When you do finish your tattoo, I want you to save a version of this. So go to File, Save As, and then, you know, you can rename this one Tattoo. So you know that's the one with the tattoo. You might want to experiment with different patterns. So what you can do is just, you know, go through the motions again. You would go back to face. You would do the same thing in terms of, you know, selecting outside of the face and then just, you know, having another pattern. So you could drag another pattern in there and just go through the same things I did and try different patterns. So, you know, experiment, have fun with it. I will get you guys to print this out, so make sure that you save it and that you can find it. Please save it in the L drive in your folder, not on someone else's computer or someone else's account. Remember, in the L drive, everybody has access to it. This is nice too because you have access to it even if you're on a desktop. All right, hope you enjoy. We're going to continue doing a few more tutorials, and so stay tuned.